Music theory can be very intimidating and very uncomfortable to learn, especially on the guitar where the tuning and octaves are so strangely placed. So today I plan on making guitar music theory easy to understand for all skill levels. I'll go through 2 different techniques of understanding music theory, one of which will make more sense depending on your learning style. I'll also include some bits of information like where popular chords are found within each mode, so if any of that interests you, let's dive right in. So music theory is made up of modes. There's 7 notes to a normal scale, and each note pertains to a different mode. A mode means that you're starting on a certain note in the scale. So in C major, we're starting on the first note of the scale, which is C. So the natural minor scale is found on the 6th note of the major scale. It has a flat 3rd, a flat 6th, and a flat 7th. And if that doesn't make sense to you yet, you're going to want to watch the rest of the video to understand. So we'll start with the major scale since that is what everything is based off. Knowing that we have 7 notes, let's go in order. The first note is major and its corresponding mode is called Ionian. We'll go with C major since it's easy to understand and there's no sharps or flats. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So it might be a little bit confusing at first, but I'm going to break it down in a second to show you the order of notes that always happen. For the second mode, it's called Dorian, and its corresponding chord is a minor. So basically to go about this, we can think of it in 2 ways. We can think this is D Dorian, and in that thought, we're thinking this is the first note of the scale. So we can say it's got a 1, it's got a 2, it's got a flat 3rd because that's a major 3rd, that's a minor 3rd. So it's got 1, 2, flat 3rd, 4th, 5th, major 6th, minor 7th, and then the octave. So we can think of it a second way, which is actually the way that I started understanding music theory and then it actually made sense to me. So with a major scale, the only place that a semitone exists are between the 3rd and 4th note and the 7th and the 8th. The 8th is also the octave of the first note. Instead of thinking of it as 1 and like I've got a flat 3rd, I can just think I'm starting on 2. So I can think 2, 3, 4, knowing that there's a semitone difference between 3 and 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then knowing that the only other place where there's a semitone is between the 7th and the 1st. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, octave of the C. So please let me know in the comments down below which one makes more sense to you between those 2 options, or if both have you completely confused. So before we move on, I actually want to take note that one of my favorite chords is actually in the second mode, and it's got the minor 3rd and it's got the major 6th, and then you're playing the second, but you're playing it an octave up. Sounds like this. And there's something nice about that tension. I don't know if you know the song Nothing to Lose by Billy Talent. The first 3 chords of that song is the same chord, but just he's technically changing the key. So once you start to understand the rules of music theory, it makes it so much easier to break them because you know where to go next. So let's go through the 3rd mode, which is Phrygian. So Phrygian starts on the 3rd, so we're going to think of it the way where it starts on number 1. So we got a 1, we got a flat 2nd, we got a flat 3rd, we got a 4th, we got a 5th, we got a flat 6th, we got a flat 7th. This one's used a lot in metal and in darker sounding music. Or the way that I found was easier, I've got the 3rd, and then I know that between the 3rd and the 4th is a semitone. So I got the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, and then I know the next semitone is between the 7th and the 1st. So that's right there. And then I got the 2nd again, and then the 3rd. So we got the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. So this technique goes for all scales. Once you start to understand the formula and where notes fall, writing chord progressions becomes so much easier because you can just choose a chord, say, okay, I'm D major. One is a major, 3 is a minor, 6 is a minor, 1 is a major, 5 is a major. So we're just going to move on to the 4th mode, which is Lydian, and it's also a major. I'm going to play the F over here. Got a 1, a 2nd, a major 3rd, a sharp 4th, a normal 5th, a normal major 6th, a normal major 7th, and then the octave. Or, again, the way I like to look at it, since we're starting on the 4th note of the scale, I'll go 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I know that between the 7 and the 1 is a semitone. So 7, 1, 2, 3, and then back to the 4, the octave. So Lydian is beautiful because of that sharp fourth. It can either be destructive and like it's got that tension, but it can also be beautiful by making the sharp fourth and the major seventh. There's a fine line between beauty and destruction, so just keep that in mind. So now we'll move on to the fifth note of the scale, which is Mixolydian. It's another major chord, but it's interesting because it has a major third and a minor seventh, which is very similar to what we look at as like the Jimi Hendrix chord. Jimi Hendrix does a sharp ninth though. So it's the only place that we find the dominant chord, and dominant chords are very popular in jazz and also very popular in modern pop and R&B. It's a staple chord to understand. So we're going to start with the original way. So it starts with 1, a second, a major third, a major or a normal fourth, a fifth, a normal major sixth, and then a minor seventh, and then the octave. So again, I find it more easy to understand 5, 6, 7, and then the semitone again. This is going to repeat a lot. So the 5, the 6, the 7, the 1, the 2, the 3, and then another semitone between the 3 and 4, the 4th, and the 5th. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll move to the 6th one. The 6th is where we find our natural minor. In most music, if you hear minor, they're referring to this mode. This mode is referred to as Aeolian. It goes 1, it's got a second, a flat third, a fourth, a fifth, a flat sixth, and a flat seventh, and then the octave. And again, it's the 6th note of the major scale. I like to think of it as 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For some reason, it just makes more sense. I know every time 7 to 1 is a semitone, 3 to 4 is a semitone. Okay, cool. So now let's move on to the last one, which is the Locrian. It's the 7th mode, and it can be very destructive again, or it can be very beautiful depending on how you use it. If you want to go the original way, we got a 1, we got a flat second again, which is similar to the 3rd mode. It's got that flat second, a flat 3, a 4, a flat 5. This is the only one that has a flat 5. That's why it's so destructive. A flat 6, and a flat 7. Basically, everything's flat except for the 4. Or again, in easier terms, you got the 7 to the 1, the semitone. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, semitone. 5, 6, 7. One of my favorite chords is actually found in there. You've got the 1, the flat 5th, the flat 7th, and then the octave of the minor 3rd. There's something beautiful about that chord as a passing chord in most jazz music. I just love using it. I love that chord. So this was a general crash course for basic music theory on the guitar, which is good and all, but when paired with exercises to help you develop your comfort and your understanding of music theory, that's where it really shines. So you're gonna wanna stay tuned for the next episode where I go through a few exercises that help me understand music theory and help me realize where chords are and that you could play a chord anywhere on the neck. So thank you for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. If it was, please leave a comment down below, like the video, and subscribe so that you don't miss the next video where I go through the exercises. And let me know down below, where do you struggle the most with music theory and with music in general and songwriting? And I'll do my best to help. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. See ya.